This is absolutely ridiculous. The Florida Panthers played their last preseason game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and what ended up happening was the Tampa Bay Lightning didn't even show up to play a hockey game last night. It was planned out that they wanted a Royal Rumble. This is a game of retribution for them. This was a game of bringing hitmen up from the AHL to try to take out some of the Florida Panthers' best guys on the ice. Knowingly trying to do this, and it's evident, and I've got the proof, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. You guys need to stay up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your back-to-back Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. So let's just get right to it. The elephant in the room is the Tampa Bay Lightning did not show up to play a hockey game last night, bringing up 6 guys from the AHL, especially one, Scott Sabourin, who is a known enforcer. I mean, the whole idea for the game for the Tampa Bay Lightning was not to play hockey. It was to injure Florida Panthers players, to get as physical as they possibly could. I mean, I'll show you guys the stat lines from the game. All right, yeah, the Panthers won, wonderful, great. It's a preseason game. They crushed them on the scoreboard 7-0. They played their game. They tried to not let that stuff affect them in the end. They kept trying to score goals after goal after goal after goal. Great, but it was a Royal Rumble. It was Tampa Bay looking at this game like, hey, we're going to bring in some of our bashers to go in there with knowingly trying to hurt and injure the Panther players. Scott Sabourin's hit, the first part of his hit, the original one that led to his ejection with only 19 seconds of TOI, was good. It was fine. It was a clean hit. It was a big one, which I don't think in preseason you really do, even though I hate to say that John Cooper was trying to defend his guys, being like, the guys go out there, they're trying to play, they're trying to make a team. That's BS. Your guys went out there knowingly trying to injure Panther players. And I'm going to show you right now the proof in the video. And I'm going to pause some of these. So in the beginning here, that first part of the hit is legal. This part coming up right here is not. The cross-check to the face and then drop the gloves and didn't even give Ekblad a chance to respond. Ridiculous. Cheap, dirty, and I would say John Cooper should be ashamed of himself. And I'm going to let you guys know right now, the NHL, before I move on with this video, I want you guys to see something. The NHL, player safety, they're going to have a hearing for Scott Sabourin for that hit on Aaron Ekblad for roughing in. Date and time to be determined. Same thing for J.J. Moser. For his cheap shot that I'll show you guys in a second against Jesper Boquist. I don't know if it's Moser or Mosier, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. 2 dirty ass players. And I'm pissed. If you guys are a Panthers fan, you guys should be pretty upset. The Tampa Bay Lightning came out playing dirty, and that is it. And I'm going to tell you guys, Tampa Bay fans, I'm not going to show anything about the Panthers' retaliation because they're not going to sit and just take things laying down and just be like, okay, just come out and beat the crap out of us. No. That's not what happened. The Panthers turned things around, and Verhaeghe, I'll show you what happened to him. He came back, went after one of their Tampa guys on Tampa with every reason to do so. Every reason. Panthers fans, you guys need to be up in arms and say to yourselves, Tampa came out dirty. And the thing is, yes, I understand. AJ Greer went after Hagel. But do we forget in Game 2 last season of the playoffs, Hagel's hit on Barkov that knocked him out of the game. A dirty, cheap shot, interference when Barkov was not even around the puck. That is why AJ Greer went after Hagel. Don't forget that, guys. And AJ Greer sure as hell didn't forget it. So we all need to look at that. So Tampa Bay, be up in arms all you want. You guys were dirty. Shame on you guys on the broadcast. Even the Panthers broadcaster said shame on Tampa Bay for the way they have been playing. It's been terrible. So here we go again. Here is that dirty hit. Not there. Check right there. Probably knocked him a little bit concussed. Hit him in the face right there. Knocked him out. Didn't even give him a chance. Now watch. Top of the boards, middle of the screen, guys. Watch Carter Verhaeghe coming over. He's covered up right now with, I think that's 16 or 36 or something just to the left. Watch him come in. Check. Cross-check to the head. Cross-check to the head. But cheap shot. Carter Verhaeghe. Like, what the hell is happening here? And then here we go. This is the boarding call right here against Jesper Boquist. that, I mean, look at how cheap just a cheap shot. Now, keep your eyes to the left, right against the boards. That's right in front of the Panthers bench. Watch this. He get cross-checked into the boards. Cheap shot again, cheap shot again. Now, our guys are going to come in and try to put everything back together. And there is big man trying to say, think, young man, with your head. What you're doing is going to get you in trouble. That's why he's pointing at him and giving a little wet willy right there, too. So there's the cheapness that I was just saying. There's those cheap shots that turn this whole game and this series, this rivalry, I should say, just into an absolute free-for-all Royal Rumble. I don't know what's going to happen in the regular season. I'm not nervous by any means. But Tampa came out with an agenda to not play hockey. They came out bringing hitmen to the ice to try to take out some of Florida's top guys. Ekblad, Verhaeghe. I mean, I'm going to show you the stat lines in just a second, but a guy playing only 19 seconds and getting ejected, clearly there was only one reason why he was brought up. And John Cooper can sit there all night, shame on him. He could say all night, well, these guys are trying to make a spot on the roster and blah, blah, blah. That's BS. Get out of here with that crap. You knowingly brought these guys up saying, we're going to go out there, we're just going to fight them, we're not going to care about hockey, we're going to try to grind them into the ground, beat them up, and just take them off their line and just knowingly trying to injure them. Of course, he's the coach. He's not going to say that's what was there for. He looked frustrated, and even Paul Maurice said he's had enough of this. Paul Maurice is the best coach in the NHL. I'm going to say this because of the way he treated this when he was asked, and I will show you some of those quotes in a second. But let's get right back to this, guys. Here we go. Fights all over the place. 322 total penalty minutes. I think it was 60 plus penalties in total. I think it was 65 in total. Ridiculous. And there's one other thing I want to talk about really quickly. Rachel Krishek is a writer out there, and she brought up something where she's making an assumption right now. Yes, the NHL rulebook does state that if you are a player and you have a game misconduct and you actually take a shift and play on the ice, there is a 10-game suspension that is warranted because you're on the ice when you're not supposed to be. She is saying that if he does not serve that 10-game suspension, then people need to look into this. Something is wrong. Well, don't make assumptions because you make an ass out of you and an ass out of me because of this. With all the penalties, the statisticians, the scorekeepers, everybody there was so much mass confusion with all of these penalties going on and all the game misconducts. Everything that was going on, everybody's head was spinning. They were still calculating the penalty minutes and the penalties when the game ended. I think they had it at like 312 minutes or something, and then shot up to 322 at the end of it when the game was already over. They kept going back through it. We don't know the situation that surrounded what happened with Niko Mikkola when he got that game misconduct. The referees were still trying to sort things out. I mean, there were so many stoppages for lengthy periods of time. I think things got lost in communication. We don't know if Niko Mikkola was told he had a game misconduct. We don't know if they told Paul Maurice. Maybe they told the statistician and the scorekeepers, but nobody ever told them. And if that is the case, Mikkola did not know. He did not knowingly go back onto the ice knowing he had a game misconduct. Don't make an assumption. Let all the facts come out. The NHL's got a lot to deal with in this. There's going to be fines like crazy. I think there's going to be more hearings for more players. I don't necessarily think it's going to come down to the Panthers side because, again, the Panthers aren't just going to roll over and take a beating from Tampa Bay when they are not there to play hockey. They're going to fight back, okay? So let's keep rolling here. Again, Panthers outshot. You can clearly see this game was not about playing hockey for Tampa. It was just about being physical, beating the crap out of the Panthers, doing what they can to get under their skin, intent to injure. 46 hits to 18. Florida was not out there to roughhouse or do anything like that. Again, it was all retribution for this Tampa Bay Lightning team. This was all about payback for what? I don't really think that. I think it was overkill. I think they overdid this. Shame on their players. Shame on the coaching staff for letting this spiral to the out of control realm that it got to. Shame. Power play opportunities, 20 for the Cats, 5 for the Lightning. Thank goodness the Cats did cash in. I was hoping it would be like 15-0. You could even see when Evan Rodriguez was scoring his goals, he didn't care. There was no joy on his face. I know it's preseason, but usually you still celebrate. They weren't really celebrating. These guys just wanted this game to be over. All right? Penalty minutes right there, 322, 65 in total penalties. I mean, ridiculous. The Cats' penalties were there just because they were trying to defend themselves. They weren't instigating. They were trying to stand up for each other. If one guy came after, one of the Tampa Bay guys came after one of our guys, they instigated, they brought everything up there. Guess what? The Cats are going to go back and try to do the same. They're not just going to, like I said, they're not just going to take it. They're going to fight back, guys. And they did. With every reason to do so. Man, I just can't believe this. This wasn't hockey last night. It was a despicable act by a team that wasn't trying to send a message by any means. They were literally trying to hurt our players and literally put a monkey wrench into this roster that's already got 3 pretty big holes in it. 2 massive ones, and then Thomas Nosek one's a bad one too. But here we go. Maggie Samoskevich, talk about the positives. Hat trick for Erod. 2 goals and assists for Mackie Samoskevich. Great games for both of those guys. Lustrainen, 4 assists. So there are bright spots. And then the biggest one, and you can see the penalty minutes there, I circled them because Luke Kunin, man, he was sticking up for his pals. That's what I loved about him. He's definitely going to make the team. He's not going anywhere. Mackie Samoskevich, same thing. 27 penalty minutes. But thank goodness these guys were sticking up for each other. I mean, they were like, we're not taking it anymore. And Petrie had a hell of a shot. 1 goal, 2 assists by him. Great. And Bob was standing on his head. Yet again, he looks just absolutely spectacular in the preseason with, I think, about the 60-plus minutes or so that he has played this preseason. Looked very, very, very good. Standing on his head, making some killer saves. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with him. But I'm a little nervous. We're going to show up on the 7th looking like bruised and battered team because it's just been fighting. Every guy's going to have a black eye, it looks like, and cuts and bruises on October 7th. It's going to look like we've already played half a season. So anyways, this is Scott Sabourin. I don't think you're going to be seeing him in the NHL for quite some time. I think he's not going to be even in the AHL for a bit. He's probably going to serve a very lengthy suspension. I mean, this was Slapshot last night. Florida Hockey Now wrote it out there. I was going to say the same thing, but they beat me to the punch. It was Slapshot out there. It was, we don't care about playing hockey. We're just going to go out there and roughhouse and cheap shot and just not make this about a hockey game and compete. We don't care. So shame on them. Terrible. And these are their stat lines. You see the 19 seconds by Sabourin. You know, just despicable play. And Lilleberg kept coming out there and going after our guys and cheap shotting, putting them in headlocks. I mean, it was just, oh man, I just can't even keep going on about this because I'm like getting sick to my stomach. And I'm hoping Aaron Ekblad's not going to be missing Tuesday's game on October 7th when they raise the banner and get the rings because, I don't know, he could have a concussion. He might be out for a week or 2 until he passes concussion protocols. I mean, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But right now, what I'm going to show you guys is some of the graphics here that have some stuff. I'm sorry they cut off part of Paul's face, but here. When it was asked about Tampa's message they were trying to bring in that game with all the cheap shots and stuff, he said, I have no idea. I'm not worried about it. Training camp is over. We had some good games, and no one was complaining about ice time by the end of it, so it's over. Okay, I get it. He's doing the big thing and saying, you know, he's not going to put his hat in it. He did end up saying that the NHL is, you know, going to have to look into things, and whatever they rule is what they're going to rule. That's the right thing for a coach to say. Not to place blame or say anything or give his opinion. You know, he's like, look, I'm here to coach hockey. That's it, man. And this is where we're at, and so on and so forth. So, moving forward, Evan Rodriguez on the game. It got silly. It got stupid by the end of it. It wasn't really hockey out there. I agree 100%. You can see the frustration on his face at the end of the game. Those guys just want to be off the ice. They didn't care about playing anymore, even though they did try to shove the puck down Tampa's throat and just try to score as much as they could. Yes, the goal got taken off at the end of that 3rd period because Mikkola was on the ice. But again, it took them a while to realize. He played for another 5 minutes after the goal was scored until they realized that he had a game misconduct. That's what I'm saying. Rachel Krychak, even the refs didn't even know. The scorekeepers didn't know. Nobody knew that he got a game misconduct. To me, that says nobody said anything to him or the coaching staff that he needed to leave the ice. Because usually when that happens, you're off the ice. But nobody told him to leave the ice. So, I beg you, the question, what happened? That's what we need to find out. Let's see what happened. Let's find out every detail that led up to that. And here's Ito Luosterainen about the 6 AHL players that Tampa brought up. It made you think there might be something coming. I think he knew, as well as Paul Maurice, that something was going on, and that's why Paul Maurice didn't have Bennett on the ice or Reinhart, Marchand. I know there's a couple other guys. I mean, Lundell was already hurt, but he took several key players out of the lineup, I think knowing, not to rest necessarily, even though he might say that if he was asked a question, did you see something happening, and did you try to keep your players away from harm by taking them out of this game when you saw the 6 AHL guys coming up, especially some of these guys that are literally like hitmen out there. They're enforcers. I would love to hear a response to that question. If anybody out there finds it, if it was asked, I would love to know Paul Maurice's response. I'll even search for it myself. So this is John Cooper, the Tampa Bay coach, on the rivalry and what he thought. I think anybody that's a part of this rivalry would probably look at this box score and A, not be surprised, and B, I can't believe it's taken this long for something like that to happen. Well, Coop, I got to tell you this, man. I would never think that something like this would happen to this extent. I mean, this is not turned into a rivalry. This is turning into literally what could potentially be a bloodbath. Guys can get seriously injured. It's getting out of control. As a coach, you should be telling your players, guys, calm it down out there. This is the NHL. This is the NHL. We're professionals out here. We're making the big bucks. You still have to respect each other out there and respect the guys you're playing against. No matter how much bad blood there is out there on the ice, you never want to go out there with intent to injure. If that's the case, you shouldn't be playing in the NHL, let alone the AHL if that's the case. Yes, as an enforcer, you're out there to back up your guys and protect some of the players, but you're not out there trying to take cheap shots. Again, subordinate, just disgusting play. First shot, bravo, good hit. Cross-check to the head, which I think really dazed Ekblad. Then you drop your gloves in a quarter of a second, don't even give the guy a chance to stand up to try to face off against you and fight you, and then you cheap shot him in the face. Shame on you. Shame on Tampa Bay. Shame on the coaching staff. That's all I got to say. I'm getting sick to my stomach right now. But again, don't forget, Hagel deserved the payback for his hit on Barkov in the playoffs. That's the biggest thing. In the playoffs it happened. He cheap shotted in the playoffs. Panthers players were up in arms about it. That's why players never forget. They're going to back up their captain, the heart and soul of this team. And he went out there, and I think that's exactly what A.J. Greer did. He said, you know what, this is payback for last year. Okay, they came back at A.J. Greer again, and he was public enemy number 1. But then in this last game of the preseason, got way too out of control, guys. Way too out of control. The intent to injure is just, it was beyond comprehension for me what they were doing. Again, I'm going to show you the video one more time because it is just hard to watch, guys. Here you go. Again, good hit there, but this is where it gets ugly. Like, look, probably concussed him right there. Gloves off, didn't even give a chance. Like, Ekblad didn't even get a chance to try to defend himself. And then here, a cross-check to the head again to Verhaeghe. And then the cheap shots coming left and right. No chance to really defend himself, coming over his back, dirty. You know, I mean, I just don't get it with these cheap shots. And here, like, you're going to really, oh, man. But anyways, guys, that's it for this episode of Panthers Digest. I do hope you have a good Sunday, and let's cross our fingers. All the guys are okay. Paul Maurice is talking to him like, hey, you know what? Regular season's going to start. Leave this crap off. Wipe it off the table. Forget it. When we face them later in the season, we'll handle it then. But even then, I think the Panthers should be the bigger team. Look past it and say it's about getting points. If we face them in the playoffs, let's kick their butts in the playoffs. But right now, guys, I think they're going to move forward. Banner raising on the 7th. Getting the rings and everything. It's going to be a beautiful night. Let's put this behind us. There's some hearings. NHL is going to handle it. Let's see what happens. Anyways, guys, crazy stuff going on. I'll talk to you guys next time. Enjoy your Sunday. If you guys are watching football, enjoy it. There's a lot of good games on today. So anyways, guys, go Cats.